Hey everyone, this is Christina D, aka Short than the Easel, with something different. I've been saying that a lot lately, but today we're redrawing this lovely picture from 2004. This is something I did back in middle school when I was 12, and we're revamping it, but sticking true to the original in medium. So, since this is something from 2004, I thought today would be a good time to talk about evolution as an artist. And how practice improves everything. Practice makes perfect, in a sense. But yeah, the original I drew back in 2004. I was 12. And actually the original was supposed to be sort of a goals kind of self-portrait. And yes, I did actually have a mesh poncho that looked like that. But this redraw, mostly because my light skin tone color is dead, I decided to turn this into a sassy witch. So we're sticking as true as we can to the original, but making her really cute, really sassy, a lot more proportional, giving her actual feet instead of triangles. And we're playing around with the color because there were only like 2 or 3 things in the original picture colored in. And those were the shirt, the pants, and the purse. So, you do not want to know how long it took me to plan out the colors. Because between I can't speak. But between skin color and hair color, I had no clue what I was doing. So I just kind of winged it, especially when I realized that my lighter, peachy skin tone shade was dead. And because I don't do marker work that often, I didn't bother getting the refill. I went with what I had, and I don't have a giant collection of Copics. I have a rather small in comparison to most marker collections sort of variety of Prismacolors and like 4 or 5 Copics. I also have some Spectrum Noir markers, like the old ones, not the new ones with the brush tip. I would love those. But even the packs of those are kind of out of my price range because, let's admit it, I will openly call myself a cheap bastard at times. Well, let's just say that. I jokingly call myself a cheap bastard. Also because I kind of have a limited budget. Especially with subscriptions and stuff like that, so yeah. A lot of stuff I get is out of my own pocket. Which is why I have things like Patreon and Coffee, which are always linked below. But this is definitely interesting to see how far I've come as an artist. Like, proportion-wise, she has feet. I just drew little triangles last time. She actually has a hand. Granted, not the best drawn hands. But she actually has a hand and not some weird, pointy triangle shape that looks like a spike growing out of the wrist. And here's something I regret doing. I greatly regret doing the hatching on the poncho before I colored everything in. I should have saved that for last. I didn't, but it was too late to turn back. So, as you can see, I used a combination of many different markers. I have some Copic markers in there. Actually, I think I only had 1 Copic that I used. The rest were Prismacolor and like 2 or 3 of the hashtag coloring markers. And by the way, the hashtag coloring markers, remember when I did the review on those and I said some of them on the brush tip, they had that weird pilling? Yeah, apparently if you leave those markers long enough, they all get that pilling. And it's bad. I mean, the markers still work, you just need to wipe it off. But when I opened some of those markers to try to figure out what colors to use, yeah, no. It looked bad. Like, I'm amazed those actually worked. So, if you have the hashtag coloring markers, keep that in mind. But getting back to this, like I said, the original was something I did back in 2004. So I was 12. Now, when I was 12, I was a weeb. I will admit that, hence the weird sort of anime face shape that it had. But I was also going through a lot of weird, I don't know why I had an existential crisis at 12, but I did. School wasn't going well for me. I definitely had teachers that hated me, and art was one of those things that just kept me going. My art teachers were the most supportive people in my life at the time. And I am so glad they were so supportive, because art genuinely kept me sane. And ironically enough, despite how poorly I did in school, I also ended up taking part in an art program called Middle School of the Arts. And that actually greatly helped me improve. I mean, being an artist is something I've wanted to do since I was a kid. So, in a sense, I sort of live in the dream, but not how I pictured it. Like, when I was a kid, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have an art studio, I'm gonna live in New York, I'm gonna have gallery showings. I didn't anticipate digital art. So, yeah, I also didn't anticipate the prices of living in New York. Or how just expensive life in general is. So, yeah, but I didn't give up. Despite how crap my life felt at the time, I didn't give up. And despite how my art looked at the time, I definitely didn't give up. And even in comparison between this and my original picture from 2004, you can definitely see how years of practice have improved my work. And even now, I struggle with things like coloring in these pants. There was a point where I just jokingly stopped, just like, okay, got one leg colored in, I'm done. We're leaving it like this, because I struggled to get an even coat of the color, and the shading I was so terrified of. I don't work in markers as much as I would like to, but this was a great challenge for me, and like I said, I kind of wanted to keep this sort of as a little homage to the original by doing this traditionally instead of doing a digital redraw like I usually do, because this is something that was originally done in 2004. 2004 me didn't know about digital art. 2004 me saw stuff that was more than likely digital art and thought, man, they have really good scanners. That's not even a joke. I genuinely thought that at one point in my life. I thought digital art was people with really good scanners. And you saw what my 2004 art looked like at the beginning of this video, and you'll see it again at the end with the comparison. I have come so far because I didn't give up. I kept doing what I'm doing. I followed the passion. Granted, I didn't draw every day, but I kept it up. I kept drawing whenever I could. Sometimes it was to vent, sometimes it was just because I was bored. And oh, we're getting to one of my favorite parts where I completely regretted my color choice because I hated this little magic flame ball thing. I kind of thought that the color I was gonna go in was a different color. Like right here, you'll see me get up. You know, I thought I was getting a yellow, I got a green. I was an idiot. But if anything, the other yellow, that Copic, that actually tied it together very nicely with the highlights. But yeah, even just color choosing, color picking, there you go. Decent terminology. Even that, you can see I actually put some thought into it while keeping to the original to an extent. I have come so far just from practice and just from doing what I'm doing, just drawing constantly. And you guys can improve like this too. It's not I mean, it will be, I'm not gonna say it's not difficult, because it can be, and it can be very frustrating. But you too can go from the left picture to the right picture. I am not a motivational speaker. So if you like what you saw in this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you want to see more, subscribe. And if you subscribe, hit the bell icon, because I don't have a set schedule. See you guys next time.